we've got to talk about Christian nationalism.
Yes, we do, because the movement seems to be growing and it is terrifying. I would encourage you to, after you're watching this video, to go watch the original video that I stitched, which features a large mass congregation full of people reciting something called the Watchman's Creed, which is one of the most disturbing things I've seen. And as somebody who researches cults and conspiracy theories, I've seen a lot of disturbing things. Indeed, I write about Christian nationalism in my book, New Age Wasteland. I decided to put it in the cult section because it contains a lot of culty vibes and culty elements, including the conspiracy theory that it's based on, that the U.S. Was always meant to be a white Christian nation. However, Christian nationalism doesn't fulfill all of the criteria of a cult. It lacks, for example, being centered around one central charismatic figure. In this case, there are several. And I do want to mention some of these characters like Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis and Michael Flynn. But before we get there, I want to delve into a little bit of history. Believe it or not, Christian nationalism does have a connection with the New Age movement, most notably through a figure called William Dudley Pelley, who I've spoken about before. He was a mystic and a theosophist who had an out-of-body experience that propelled him, inspired him to become a fascist, essentially. He was a huge fan of the Mustache Man. In fact, he established his paramilitary organization, the Silver Shirts, on the very day that Mustache Man came to power in Germany. He was very vocal about wanting to eliminate the Jews from the U.S. and very vocal about overthrowing the U.S. government, which landed him in jail for charges of sedition. While Pelley was in jail, the Silver Shirts disbanded, but several members went on to form white militia groups in the 1960s and 70s. Sadly, that was not the end of it. A poll conducted in May of 2022 showed that Christian nationalism has wide support among evangelicals. How high? 78% of evangelicals think that the U.S. should be a Christian nation. Among them are Congresswomen Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, and white supremacist Nick Fuentes, who had dinner with Trump and Kanye West in 2022. There are likely many other far-right congresspeople who support Christian nationalism, but who haven't yet come out in full support of it. One person who has not been shy in the least about his support for Christian nationalism is Michael Flynn, who was a lobbyist with close ties to Russia and Turkey before he became the national security advisor for Trump for about a month. He then pled guilty to lying to the FBI about his ties with Russia, but he was later pardoned by Trump. By that time, Flynn had become a devout supporter of QAnon and a COVID conspiritualist and an election denier and someone who fully supported the January 6th insurrection. In fact, he told Trump that he should suspend the Constitution. In 2021, Flynn helped launch the Reawaken America tour, which has been described as like a Christian nationalist conspiracy theory roadshow. While Flynn and his army of nationalists gear up for more, it behooves the rest of us to stay wakeful.